Here are the specs that you can read on a piece of paper. And then after that, I'm going to show you how I actually use this in a creator environment. So this is the GVM Pro SD200B bicolor COB light. This has a CCT rating of 2700 to 6800 Kelvin. It also has a CRI and TLCI of 97 plus, so this should be pretty accurate on skin tones and things like that. It has a really nice color display on the back top left of the light that allows you to see all of your information in real time. It has physical controls on the light, 4 buttons at the top right, 2 dials as well on the top right that allow you to go through the 3 different main sections, which is CCT, effects, and source matching, which allows you to match lights like tungsten and studio lamps, etc. This can be adjusted from 0 to 100% and 0.1% increments, giving you full control over the lighting settings in your environment. This can be controlled either physically by the back of the light, by Bluetooth mesh using the application that is really nice and really responsive. We'll get to that in a second. Or you can connect this to a DMX network of physical lights with a DMX in and a DMX out on this particular light. Some of the cool physical features: it has a V-mount adapter on the U bracket of the light that allows you to attach the brick, the AC power brick, so that it does not hang down and pull on the actual input. This could extend the life of the light over time. It also has a U bracket built into the base of the light that allows for 360 degrees of rotation. The package that was sent out to me comes with a 23-inch softbox and the light, as well as a very nice travel case. They also threw in a light stand. Now the package without the light stand is $185 right now at the time of filming this, September 2025, and you can find that on their website. I'll have those links in the description. The light stand is $39.99. It is a really nice light stand. It is very well balanced, but the U bracket and the ability to rotate this 360 degrees doesn't put any type of weight on that bracket and allows it to sit there really well. So let's jump into the video. I'll show you how I use this in a regular content creator environment, how I'm liking the light, the features, my final, my final first impressions after using this about a month, and my final suggestion at the end of the video. So let's jump into it. It is really hard to light my office setup, right? I have this really big window that sends a lot of light and backlights me, and it goes right into the camera. And most lights that I use are not strong enough, not powerful enough, or they don't have enough control in order to kind of compensate for all the different pockets of, space that has to be lit up in here. But that is where the GVM Pro SD200B may actually be a nice solution for my situation. In fact, I'll talk a little bit about how I'm using this here in a second. And this is a real world test right here in a content creator setup. This is my full-time setup that I use on a day-to-day basis. So thank you to GVM for sending this out. They sent this out to me to test this out and then share with you. But as always, it's an honest and transparent review that's buyer focused and consumer friendly. So let's jump into this. So right now I have the light kind of off to my side right here. I do have a key light right here. Then I have this as a fill light on the left hand side of my face. And I have it at exponential 49.4% bouncing directly on me. I could switch it to linear. I could switch it to logarithmic. And then this is an S curve, all at the same 49.4%. So that can basically show you like how much power is coming off of this. That's kind of why I really like the exponential dim curve, is because it softens the light even if it's stronger. So that way my face is really lit really well. Even if I was to drop it down, it's still lit really well. Now the crazy thing that I have to think about is my dreads, right? When I have my dreads down versus when I have my dreads up and out of my face. It is something interesting to focus on, but I can lower that, and that's just going to give that really soft look on the side of my face right there. And now I'm going to bounce it off of the ceiling right here so you can see what it looks like when it's bounced off the ceiling. And then the interesting thing with my setup is that I have this big window right here. So when I have lights directly facing, it's a problem. So this light being strong enough to bounce up and then back down is a real plus for me, because I've used this in the last 4 videos and you haven't been able to see it off of this glass because I'm bouncing it actually off the ceiling. So let me switch that real quick. And so now I have it bounced off the ceiling, and this is kind of the look that you've been seeing with, of course, my turn on studio. And so now I have the studio lights on behind me, right, which gives me that kind of separation from the background, and then I have this pointing off of the ceiling now. So this is the difference when it's bouncing off of the ceiling back down onto the desk. Now I've actually had it around 70-ish doing that, and then that way the desk is lit up pretty well. But overall this looks really good now, because when I did the video the other day and I was closer to the camera there, now I have this good separation. I'm in the middle, right? Yeah, I'm in the middle of the frame now, and everything is lit really well. And there's no reflection off the glass right there. There's no reflection off of that glass that softbox is there. And it's bouncing up there pretty well. And the app, again, just makes it really easy to use when going through this. But you can tell how everything is pretty well lit now. Like, I used to have a lantern, like a big circular lantern lighting up the space, but it would show up on the glass, and so I couldn't use that. But this actually, when it's like powered up, because right now it's at 47.8%, and it's at logarithmic dim curve, and it's lighting up this whole space, like my hair, like everything is pretty well lit. So it really just depends on kind of the look and the mood that you want. I just love the fact that there's so much flexibility with the light. I think that's the biggest benefit, is that you really can come up with whatever you want, with really simple setup. Let's talk about the app real quick. The app is broken down into 3 sections. It is super responsive. When you first jump into it, you can see the devices that you have set up in any groups or anything like that. I did a review on the SD80S recently, so you can find that review and kind of see how the app works with that. It's going to default to CCT, but you do have the 3 options. So you have your CCT, you have your source matching, which allows you to match the light to colors that lamps that you would see in different environments, like studio lamps, daylight, sunset and sunrise. And the app is super responsive, so that's one of the things that I like most about it, is that it responds really quickly to what's going on. In the effects, you're going to have your kind of your standard 12 effects that you have here, and you can control that. You can control the speed, you can control the brightness and the intensity of that particular effect, if you will. Explosion, let's do fire, so you can kind of see that real quick. But of course, you're going to spend most of your time in the CCT app. Now, as you can see here, 2700 to 6800 Kelvin, 3200, 4300, and 5600 Kelvin is kind of like a really quick setting, so that you can switch between those really fast. You also have your 4 dimming curves. So you have linear, you have exponential, you have logarithmic, and then you have S-curve, and that's going to be your 4 dim patterns. I usually leave mine on exponential. It's really good on the face and kind of how it contours around the face, specifically when using a softbox, not so much with the reflector. And then of course it's really responsive, so you can adjust the percentage. And one thing that I pointed out earlier is that you can adjust that percentage by 0.1%. And that's kind of cool, because you can go all the way down to 0. So the original 3-panel lighting kit that I had from GVM didn't let you go below 10% power, and it moved in, I think, 5% or 10% increments. Again, it's super responsive. The nice thing about it is that you can turn the lamp off without actually having to power off the unit completely, so that you can always use the app to turn it back on. It's super simple. It's really intuitive. I like it. There's a lot of features here. There may be some more complicated, deeper feature apps, but as far as working through an app, this gives you everything that you need. In this situation, I'm just doing a real quick test that I am completely backlit. As you can see, I have the GVM softbox sitting right here, and I'm at plus 1.3, but that's because of the background. And as you can see, I'm still dark when I'm talking about my exposure. When I turn on the light, though, you can now see me here. This is at 100% brightness with the included softbox that came along with this. I took the included softbox off, and so now what you're seeing is the reflector, and at 5%, it is blasting me. 4.9%, as you can see, it's blasting me, and I'm now being completely lit. And I'm just gonna close my eyes and turn this thing up because at 100%, like it completely lights my face from the background. And I could even, you know, step further back and still have that same added benefit. In the worst case scenario, you can definitely light yourself completely. I mean, it is 3:57 on the dot, midday with the sunlight directly in the sky. So that's pretty good in my opinion. You let me know your thoughts. If you're watching this video, then you're probably on the market for a light right now. I think that the biggest competitor is probably going to be the Amaran 200X, which costs more than this light. And then I think the Godox SL200 I think is what that one's called. The app on the Godox, now I haven't used either one of those lights, but those are probably going to be the two that you're going to look at in this price range. And I think this is the most affordable out of all three. And in fact, at the time of recording this video, you can get this light and a 23-inch softbox for $185. And that softbox by itself, that 23-inch softbox that they sent me out that's on it right now, is $109 by itself. So I think this light retails for right around $239, but right now it's $185. Now their lights often go on sale on their website, so take advantage of it. You know, you can usually get like 2 of these for the cost of like maybe one of those more expensive NAND lights, etc. Just really depends on what you're looking for. But the Godox SL200 and the Amaran 200X are probably going to be the closer comparatives to this particular light, but this one's going to have, like I said, a better price point than those. So there's a lot of features to this light at a really small price point. But if you need really fine-tuned controlling, really fast app that allows you to control it very fast, you know, remotely, depending on how high you have this thing sitting in your setup and in your environment, that compatibility, like I said, with the DMX XLR input and output to allow you to kind of add this to an ecosystem of lights, as well as creating channels of lights within the GVM LED app itself. Really strong output. It is a Bowens mount, so you can use lanterns and Fresnels and different things like that, snoots and whatever the heck you want to use, because it's a standard Bowens mount connection, so you don't have to worry about any proprietary connections or anything like that. So all in all, I think this is a really good light. And if you are super budget strapped, then you can look at that SD80S that I did a review on recently, because it does connect to the same app, and the app, like I said, is really fast and responsive. It's not as nice as this light, but it definitely gets the job done if you're in this type of environment. So I don't know, let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. If you found today's video useful, hit that like button. And if you want to see more video reviews or gear reviews, lights and different things like that, consider subscribing and joining the Cosey Coalition. But as always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.